नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So text
31.
31.
31.
No, I think 29, isn't it?
I have marked here.
You're right, it is 29. Yesterday.
We did 29, 30, or we did two or
Okay, 29, 30. Okay.
Well, I think you can take 29, 30 again because it's important text.
Okay. Okay, let's do 29 then again. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Yadyan Niruktam Vachasa Nirupitam.
Yadyan Niruktam Vachasa Nirupitam.
Yakshabhirva Manasotayasya.
Yakshabhirva Manasotayasya.
Ma Bhuta Swarupam Gunarupam Hitattat.
Ma Bhuta Swarupam Gunarupa Hitattat.
Savay Gunapaya Visarga Lakshana.
Savay Gunapaya Visarga Lakshana. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. May I read Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Anything expressed by material vibrations, anything ascertained by material intelligence, and anything experienced by material senses or concocted within the material mind is but an effect of the modes of material nature, and therefore has nothing to do with the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is beyond creation of this material world, for he is the source of the material qualities and creation. As the cause of all causes, he exists before the creation and after the creation. I wish to offer my respectful obeisance unto him. One who manufactures names, forms, quality, or paraphernalia pertaining to the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot understand him, since he is beyond the creation. The Supreme Lord is the creator of everything, and this means that he existed when there is no creation. In other words, his name, form, qualities are not materially created entities. They are transcendental always. Therefore, by our material concoction, vibrations, and thoughts, we cannot ascertain the Supreme Lord. This is expected in the verse Ataha Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Graham Indriya. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1-2-34. Prachita Daksh herein offer prayers unto the transcendence, not to anyone within material creation. Only fools and rascals thinks the God of material creation. This is confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Avajananti ma moda manusintanu asritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwara. Fools derive me when I descend in human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme domain over all that to me. Therefore, one must receive knowledge from a person to whom the Lord has revealed himself. There is no value in creating an imaginary name form for the Lord. Srimad Sankaracharya was an impersonality, but nevertheless, he said, Narayana Paro Avyakta. Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not a person of the material world. We cannot assign Narayana a material designation, as the foolish attempt to do when they speak of Daridra Narayana, poor Narayana. Narayana is always transcendental, beyond this material creation. How can he become Daridra Narayana? Poverty is found within this material world, but in the spiritual world, there is no such things as poverty. Therefore, the idea of Daridra Narayan is merely a concoction. Daksha very carefully points out that material designation cannot be named of the worshipable Lord. Yad yan niruktam vachasa nirupitam. Nirukta refers to the Vedic dictionary. One cannot properly understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead merely by picking up expressions from a dictionary. In praying to the Lord, Daksh doesn't wish to material name and forms to be the objects of his worship. Rather, he wants to worship the Lord who existed before the creation of material dictionaries and names. As confirmed in Veda, yato vacho nivartante apraya manasa saha. The name, form, attributes, and paraphernalia of the Lord cannot be ascertained through a material dictionary. However, if one reaches to the transcendental platform of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he becomes well acquainted with everything, material and spiritual. This is confirmed in another Vedic mantra. Tameva viditvati mrutyam eti. If one can somehow or other, by the grace of the Lord, understand the transcendental position of Lord, one becomes eternal. This is further confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha taktva deham punarjanma naiti mam iti so Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities doesn't, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, Arjuna. Simply by understanding the Supreme Lord, one goes beyond birth, death, old age, and disease. Srila Sukadeva Goswami therefore advises Maharaj Parikshit in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.5. Tasmat Bharata Sarvatman Bhagavan Ishwara Hari Shrotavya Kirtidavascha Smartavaschatabhayam. O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear, glorify, also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. Actually, you see, these verses that we are discussing here, these are, they are talking directly about the nature of transcendence and how one can understand them from a material platform. Now, you see, if you see this verse, Srila Prabhupada here is giving a very lengthy explanation, but the point which he's illustrating is a very simple one. See, anything expressed by material vibrations, anything ascertained by material intelligence, and anything experienced by the material senses or concocted within the material mind is but an effect of the modes of material nature. Now meditate on this very carefully. What we read day before yesterday, that verse. See, here we were reading this verse here. As the sense objects cannot understand how the senses perceive them, so the conditioned soul cannot understand how the Supreme Spiritual Master directs his senses. Because they are only matter, the life airs, the external, internal senses cannot know their own nature and the nature of the other senses or the nature of their controllers. So try to understand it this way. What is Krishna saying? Mameva ansha jiva loke jiva bhut sanatana manah shasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. That these living entities who are my parts and parcels, they are suffering they're struggling within the material world with their mind and senses. Now, if you remember the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where we discussed about the Prakriti, Sankhya Yoga, Lord Kapila's teachings. In Sankhya Yoga, we discussed the 28 material elements, including the mind, senses, intelligence, the gross and subtle elements. Now, mind, intelligence, and false ego are also material elements. Though we cannot perceive them, they are not like solid, they are not perceivable, but they are material elements. The living entity is situated within them. So if you wear, for example, yellow goggles, you can only see yellow color. Living entity is living within material elements only. So anything he's perceiving, anything he's imagining is material. Is this point clear? Like, are you able to understand this point? Anything that you are thinking is material. That's
Yes,
the
Prabhupada.
reason. Yeah. So you see, that's the reason we need a guru. Krishna is manifest within the heart as guru. Krishna is manifest externally as guru to give this knowledge. Maya mugdha jivera nahi swata Krishna gyan. Jivera kripaya kela Krishna Veda Puran. So Krishna has given Veda and Puran so that he can be known. Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedya. Vedanta krit vedvid eva chaham. I am to be known. Vedaischa sarvair, of all the Vedas, I am to be known. Vedanta krit, I am the author of Vedas. Veda Vida Chaham, and I am the knower of the Vedas also. So you see, now you're understanding this point, that Krishna cannot be understood with speculation. Krishna cannot be imagined. Krishna must be accepted as he is. So if Prabhupada says, this is the photograph of Krishna, you please accept that. You may go and say, no, Prabhu, I found this photo on the internet. It looks so beautiful. No, that is not Krishna. You think it is beautiful. Like I remember once, many years ago, Prabhupada commissioned some devotees to create photographs of the Lord. So I think it was, I don't know which devotee it was. I think it was Badari Narayan Prabhu or someone who was told. So he made some beautiful photographs of Krishna and Balram. And Prabhupada saw the photos and he became angry. He said, what nonsense is this? Krishna and Balram as muscular warriors. These are meat eaters. Muscular body is for meat eating malechhas. Krishna Balram have soft fat. Their strength is coming from their inner power. Their strength is inner. Their strength is not coming from eating meat and building muscles. So Srila Prabhupada sanctioned, so he would sanction devotees to create images and he would approve. Because he has seen Krishna. Jai Krishna Tattva Beta Shri Guru Hai. So because he knows, so we can accept that. That's why, we always emphasize that you should just take those images which are given by old BBT, not even the new ones, not these AI generated Krishna images or anything. No, Radharani is not some lusty modern woman, with that sensuous face and all. Radharani is a child. Krishna is a child. They're very beautiful. Their beauty, their faces should be beautiful, childlike and innocent. If you see, in fact, I'll show you this photograph I have from 1972 Bhagavad Gita. I'm just putting on the video. You can just see it here. See this photograph. If you see, I want you to focus on the face of Krishna here. So you see, this is how Krishna is supposed to be. Prabhupada really used to like this photograph. So if you see Krishna, he is the same age as Arjun and he's 120 years old. But still he's, like Kishore. He's a young boy. So this is the standard. This is not imagination. So when we accept this image, if we worship this image, then we are worshipping Krishna. So anything within this material world coming from someone's mind is material. So, sometimes we may say, oh, I heard this lecture. It was so nice. Well, it may sound nice because we are hearing through our intellect. But is it spiritual or not? Because our purification does not come from the knowledge that we are receiving. Our purification comes from the consciousness of the speaker. Srila Prabhupada was very emphatic on this point. If you are not a pure devotee, you simply repeat my words. You simply repeat the words of the Acharya. Do not use your fertile imagination to create concoctions. Prabhupada was very clear. Because we may hear something which may sound very nice. But because the consciousness of the speaker is polluted, and because everyone in this material world is polluted, so that speech has no value. See, so many times people are accusing me of being a Ritvik or fanatic or something. But that's the point, Ritvik, fanatic, all this may be some pejoratives being used. But the point is, we do not know what is right, what is wrong. But we do have a rich body of literature given by Srila Prabhupada, which is authorized. Not by me, but authorized by South Indian Acharyas. So by Sri Sampradaya, by Madhva Sampradaya. I mean, I may be faulty, or half of ISKCON may be faulty, but so many Sampradayas can't be faulty. These Acharyas have accepted Srila Prabhupada as a bona fide Acharya, they have verified his writings. So even though it may be limited, in the sense that Srila Prabhupada has not written Kalyan Kalpataru, he has not done Ujjwal Nilamani, he has not done Gita Govind, he has not done Vilap Kusumanjali, he has not done these books, or Shat Sandarbha. He has not done these, but whatever he has given is sufficient to take us back to Godhead. And that's why I am emphasizing that you should only stick to Srila Prabhupada. Everything else may seem nice. 35 lessons to be learned from second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, all that may be nice. But that is not what Srila Prabhupada is teaching. No, you emphasize on what Srila Prabhupada is writing, you read it again and again and again until you understand. You discuss it. Eventually, the realization will come within you. It's a rigorous practice. It's an austerity. But it will have rich rewards. So you see, so we cannot concoct anything. No one can concoct anything. I may think I am a brilliant scholar, but my imagination has no value because it is not transcendental. The chief programmer of supercomputers or chief designers of Airbus and Boeing, they may be brilliant people, but all are material. They are all eventually material because their consciousness cannot penetrate transcendence. So therefore, we have to be very, very particular about what we hear or see about Krishna. It must come from an authority. Either it must come from Krishna or his pure devotee and nobody else. So Daksha very carefully points out that material designations cannot be the names of worshipable Lord. Yad yan niruktam vachasa nirupitam. So no, one cannot describe the Lord. One cannot say, oh, my great Krishna, Radharani, the beautiful. No, we must use only the designations given in the scriptures. They are transcendental, their designations are also transcendental. It, like if you drive a Toyota, you cannot put Honda tires in it. You cannot put, Suzuki filter in it. No, it must be applicable to this. So Krishna and Radha, they are transcendental. So every adjective, every definition of theirs must come from the transcendental plane, must come from the transcendental dictionaries, which are the scriptures and nothing else. And that's the reason why sometimes people become deluded. And that's why people think that Krishna is ordinary. If Krishna appears in front of us now, even we will think he's ordinary. Because even Brahma became confused. Actually, if you read Chaitanya Bhagavat, you will realize that even Lord Shiva became confused. When Kashiraj attacked Dwarka, Lord Shiva blessed him. He said, okay, I will bless you. And then Krishna, of course, being Krishna, he defeated. And then he appeared to Lord Shiva. He said, like, my dear Lord Shiva, I thought you were my best devotee. But now I think no one in this universe hates me more than you. That Kashiraj was a worm. And yet you supported him. So you see, this is a pastime, of course. Lord Shiva is not ignorant. But we can see that Krishna is so sweet. And that's why, there is aparadh in bhakti. Aparadh is not that Krishna gets offended. Aparadh is that Krishna gets hurt. Our behavior, our uncouth behavior hurts Krishna. That's why we have the definition of aparadh given by the acharyas, not by Krishna himself, not in Bhagavad Gita. Because acharyas understand the soft nature of Krishna and Radha, and they know what hurts them. Krishna never takes offense at living entities. But, of course, unless they are harming his devotees, but he doesn't take offense. But he gets hurt, and that hurts the acharyas. So we must be very, very particular about our spiritual practices. So if we want to understand the transcendental nature of Krishna, we must understand from transcendental sources themselves. So for us, the most credible transcendental source is Srila Prabhupada himself. So please read his books. All of you have taken vows during initiation to study Prabhupada's books. So Prabhupada said, study scrutinizingly. In that way, you will understand Krishna. Krishna is manifest within the heart. Hare Krishna. Yes, any questions or comments? Okay, then we continue. Text 30. Yasmin yato yena cha yasya yasmai
Yasmin
Yasmin yato yena chayasya yasmai
yad yo yatha kurute karyate cha
yad yo yatha kurute karyayocha
paravaresham paramam prak prasiddham
paravaresham paramam prak pravistham
tad brahma tad dhetur ananyedekam.
tad brahma tad hetu ananyekam.
Yes. Yes, please.
Translation put by Sri Prabhupada teaching. Translation. The Supreme Brahman, Krishna is the ultimate resting place and source of everything. Everything is done by him. Everything belongs to him. And everything is offered to him. He is the ultimate objective. And whether acting or causing others to act, he is the ultimate one. There are many causes, high and low. But since he is the cause of all causes, he is well known as the Supreme Brahman, who existed before all activities. He is one without a second and has no other cause. I therefore offer my respect unto him. Purport. The Supreme Personality Godhead, Krishna, is the original cause, as comes from Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhata. Even this material world, which is concocted under the modes of material nature, is caused by the Supreme Personality God, who therefore also has an intimate relationship with the material world. If the material world is not a part of his body, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Cause, would be incomplete. Therefore, we hear Vasudev Sarvam, the Mahatmanam to Siddhartha. Everyone knows that Vasudeva is the original cause of all causes. He becomes the perfect Mahatma. Dham Samhita 5.1 declares, Ishwara Param Krishna, Sachidanand Vigraha, Anadiradi Govinda, Sarkaran Karan. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He is an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. The Supreme Brahma, Tat Brahma, is the cause of all causes, but he has no cause. Anadi Adi Govinda, Sav Karan Karan. Govind Krishna is the original cause of all causes, but he has no cause for his appearance as Govinda. Govinda expresses in multifarious forms, but nevertheless, they are one as confirmed in by Madhvacharya. Ananya Sudharlava, Eko Upadhi, Abhijita. Krishna has no cause, nor an equal, and he is one because his various forms as sons and Nivansa are more non-different from himself. Hare Krishna will never.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. The Supreme Brahman Krishna is the ultimate resting place and source of everything. Everything is done by him, everything belongs to him, and everything is offered to him. He is the ultimate objective, and whether acting or causing others to act, he is the ultimate doer. There are many causes, high and low, but since he is the cause of all causes, he is well known as the Supreme Brahman who existed before all activities. He is the one without a second and has no other cause. I therefore offer my respects unto him. Actually, this is where the Mayavad misconception also comes from. Adi Shankara himself is not a Mayavadi, but he spells it out in such a manner that the atheistic people become confounded and they become Mayavadis. So it's not that Adi Shankara is preaching Mayavad. Mayavadis are naturally attracted to that philosophy and they are justifying their atheism with his philosophical understanding. That's why even Mahaprabhu says that the meaning of Vedanta Sutra is very clear, but Adi Shankara has confused it with his contorted word jugglery. So, so you see, actually everything is happening within Krishna. Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. So this is the first part of this verse. Everything is in him. He is the source of everything. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Everything belongs to him. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. everything is the Lord. Everything belongs to the Lord. Everything is Lord. Yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Tena taktena bunjita ma gradha kashvid dhanam. So we have to know what we are taking and to whom it belongs. Everything belongs to Krishna. So if I come to your house, you can say, Prabhu, please sit here. Please drink water from this glass. If I sit with my shoes on your bed and I take your glass of water and I break it down, what will you think about me? You may remain you may offer your hospitality for a day or two, but after that you'll kick me out of your house. You'll think that man is a wild animal, he just needs to get lost. But that's what we are precisely doing in this material world. The whole world belongs to Krishna, but we are destroying it. We are building mines and airports and seaports, and we are firing guns, killing animals. We are like absolutely wild animals. So this is the point, understand that everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is Anadi Ananta. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satyad Ananda Vigraha. Anadir Adir Govinda. He is the origin of all and he has no origin. Actually, we hear in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto also we hear. Devotee was asking me this question. Why Krishna and why the living entities? Why do they exist? The answer is, there is no reason. It is Krishna's own pleasure. He exists. That's a fact. We just have to accept it. There is no reason for his existence. There is nothing beyond him. He is the summum bonum. That's it. There is nothing beyond him. So if we think that there is nothing beyond him and he's somehow limited by that, so that is also not the case. Krishna is infinite and at the same time he's expanding. So Krishna is not static. He's not one. He's just infinite. So he's one without second. So now Prajapati Daksha is explaining the infinite nature of the Lord. So Aham Sarvasya Prabhava Mattaha Sarvam Pravartate. So Krishna is the summum bonum. Everything emanates from him. Everything is in him. One who can understand this. Now this is a very interesting point. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Samahatma Sudurlabha. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So what does that mean? Vasudeva Sarvamiti. That means to understand that Krishna is the cause of all causes. But you see, we are not convinced. We are not convinced. My father, my mother, they are they have given birth to me. My job is providing me my security. My family is giving me affection and shelter. We have not understood Krishna. It's not so easy. So one may think, oh, it's okay, Vasudeva Sarvati Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Actually, I am that Mahatma. I know Krishna is the cause of all causes. Well, we know academically, theoretically, we haven't realized that truth. If we realize the truth, in its completeness, we would be like Jad Bharat, or we would be like Rishabdev Maharaj. We would be, that's Avadhut. They are exemplification of this faith. That Krishna is the source of all. Like I am literally on Krishna. So who can harm me if Krishna doesn't desire? And who can protect me if Krishna so desires? If Krishna wants to kill me, who can protect me? So that's why they don't even wear clothes. Jad Bharat, when he was captured by the dacoits to be sacrificed, Jad Bharat was not even bothered. Okay, Krishna's wish. Durga Devi, Prakriti got angry. She killed the dacoits. But Jad Bharat was not moved. He was in his inner trance. This is the samadhi that we discuss in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So you see, you please try to combine the scriptures together. You will find brilliant meanings coming out of them, and all within what Srila Prabhupada has written. And this is what Prabhupada meant by scrutinizing study of my books. You don't need any external help. Everything I am quoting is from Prabhupada's books only. Please think it over very deeply. Meditate on these meanings. That is the preliminary stage of realization of Krishna or Vasudeva Tattva. That is what it means to be situated in Vasudeva. Okay? Any questions or comments here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. Prabhuji, even if we think that our family is our shelter and job is our security and all, but when we go to think that who has given us this family or the job and all, that is also given by Krishna only. So ultimately it is Krishna.
But when your boss says, please report at 10 a.m., you are running there. Then you don't think, okay, Krishna is motivating her to speak. Krishna will change that also according to my desire. You're getting the point. We are convinced that this job is my source. This family is my protection. If your husband, your father is provided by Krishna, then any man is good enough. Krishna sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. If he is motivating them as Paramatma to protect you, he will motivate anybody to protect you. Krishna is not unconscious. You're getting my point.
Krishna did that because I desired that. That's why I'm having all this. But now I'm realizing that, this is not the ultimate thing. I mean, at least this is good for a beginning.
Yeah, so this is the beginning of realization. This is not full realization. Things can still change. Things can still change. Maya is still acting on you. So, for example, your maid, how much money she earns? Maybe a fraction of what you are earning. But she's also living. But you feel fearful that if I don't earn so much, I'll die. You're getting the point. All of us are in the same category. So our realization of Krishna is at a very preliminary, very rudimentary stage. If we actually have this Vasudeva realization, we would not be able to stop chanting. The story of Gopala Guru, he was chanting 24 hours. Haridas Thakur, he could not stop chanting. Because then you only see Krishna everywhere. Like like a child is walking with a dog on the street, and with a mother on the street, and there's a dog barking. The child is not afraid because he knows mother will protect. So a devotee becomes like this. Then he's not dependent on anything. I mean, suppose if you really think that your job is given by Krishna, he's protecting you, then you can leave that job. Krishna will give you something else to protect you. Isn't it? The job becomes unpleasant, you can leave it. Okay, Krishna, I don't want this. You desired security, Krishna will give security. Something else. Prabhupada left, isn't it? Prabhupada came to America. Prabhupada actually is a personification of this faith. He came to America with 40 rupees. Yeah, he said, like, I don't even know where I was going. Like, when I saw Pennsylvania, I was shocked. Like, this is a horrible place. No money, nothing, no friends. I didn't even know what to do. But I knew, Krishna, you have sent me here. You must have thought of something. So that is faith. You see, that's a practical example. We don't have that. If I tell you, please go to Germany and start preaching, you will not even apply for visa. Just go to the airport, start talking to the security. Paramatma will motivate them. They'll become devotees. You can have a Sankirtan with the airport. So this faith is actually very difficult to develop. It takes lifetimes, sometimes many lifetimes. So we are in the process, and that's why it's very important what kind of association we maintain, what are our activities, what are our habits. All those things are extremely important.
Right.
Right? Is this clear?
Yes. Thank you so much.
But if you stick around and you study Bhagavatam very seriously, this faith will come.
We do see that it is in minuscule amount. It does build up. But I mean, if there is a break in the study or you get in some wrong association, you also see that how it begins to dwindle also.
Yeah, you have to continuously prime it. If you stop, Maya will come back. We have to we have to push with this process until we are out of Maya completely.
Until death.
Well, not this death, many deaths.
Yes.
And that's why, that's why I'm emphasizing that, you stick only to Srila Prabhupada. There are many things which will appear very nice. Internet is full of Babajis who speak very nice things. But that is not self-realized. That's just academic, intellectual. And this is exactly what Daksha is warning here. That is just intellectual. It sounds good because we are also intellectual beings. But we have to get out of this conception. Transcendence. Actually, that's also a test, Many times devotees have, very privately complained to me, Prabhu, actually, these Prabhupada's books are a bit boring. That's a sign that we are not getting into transcendental mood. That's our test. Prabhupada's books may appear to be a bit dry, but if you, force your way inside, they're like coconut. Outside is very rough and dry and hard, but you get inside, the inner pulp is very sweet. The real gem of Krishna consciousness is hidden behind Prabhupada's words. So if you just stick around, it'll shine in front of you. It's beauty. It's marvelous, Prabhupada's writings.
That's because of some wrong propaganda also going on, no? That affects everyone.
Of course. Because see, who's creating the propaganda? One who is himself dry. He has no understanding of spiritual life, so he just wants to hear some salacious stories about Krishna and gopis. And he thinks that, oh, this is very nice. And that is nonsense.
People,
Intellectual
what
pornography.
I think is people just want to keep on gathering knowledge. They are not really bothered at how much they are able to implement and do something about it.
Exactly.
Use it.
Implementation and internalization of that knowledge. The realization of that knowledge is what is important. When I was a student of chess in the 90s, 93, 94, I used to play chess for my college. I used to study these great grandmasters like Tal and, Mikhail Tal, then Kasparov, Karpov. All of these great chess masters, they only practice one or two theories. There are hundreds of theories of chess, but they would practice one or two lines. They would become experts in those lines. They would know other lines, but they would be experts in one or two lines. So Bhagavad philosophy is infinite. How much can we study? So take Prabhupada as Siddhant and perfect his Siddhant, and you will become self-realized. Everything else will be revealed. Divya Jnana Hridaya Prakashito. So have faith in the songs you sing.
All these Prabhupada disciples, they speak so much, philosophy which Prabhupada has even not touched upon. So where are they getting all this from? It's surely not from Srila Prabhupada, who gave very basic things and to study. So when they are speaking all this, where is it coming from?
There is unlimited bazaar of spirituality in India. Babajis in every street corner peddling Bhagavad literatures. Vrindavan is literally teeming with them. We have lost so many devotees. Just recently, one godbrother of mine, like our Helsinki godbrother, he's from South America. He has now become a Babaji in Vrindavan, and he's running his own YouTube channel. so many times he speaks nonsense there also, because he wanted something higher. So this kind of nonsense will go on. This is just intellectual jugglery. This has no meaning at all. We just stick to Prabhupada, go deep into it. The most basic is the most exalted. Prabhupada once in one of his conversations, he said something really very scary. He said, we talk of 4 regulative principles. He said, just to understand no illicit sex will take you 300 births. You see how tedious this journey is. It's not that, I read Ujjwal Nilamani. Now I know what Radharani feels when she looks at Krishna. I know nothing. That's nonsense. I'm thinking what a girl feels when she looks at a boy. I'm not thinking what Radharani feels when she looks at Krishna. You see, we have to break this covering of Maya. It's very, very difficult. The whole process is Acharya Upasanam, worship of the Acharya. Worship of Acharya means fidelity to Acharya. Stick to the Swami, and Swami will take you back to Godhead. So I'm not commenting on which disciple of Prabhupada is speaking what philosophy. I'm just speaking what Prabhupada has spoken, and I'm just propagating that philosophy, because everyone is supposed to do that. Prabhupada's disciple or not. Anyone who follows ISKCON has to follow that philosophy. Any deviation from it is a deviation and will be out will be out of this journey. Train tracks, no train is going like, okay, 2 centimeters away from track. No, it has to follow the track. One can't say, hey, such a big train, maybe 2 centimeters away, how does it matter? No, there will be derailment.
No, I'm saying it because Prabhupada when it comes from Prabhupada disciples, everybody is like, they the default belief is that it must be coming from Prabhupada only, because his own disciple is saying that.
No, you have to cross verify. Sorry. In bhakti, you cannot be. You may see, this is common in India. I mean, you're coming from Gujarat, you know it. There are so many these jewelers, and they become like family jewelers. But they're cheating, When they gain your trust, then they start cheating. So you have to be very careful. You have to cross verify everything. Prabhupada always said, surrender with your intelligence. Don't surrender your intelligence. No. So even if you are following somebody, you have to cross verify with Srila Prabhupada, because that's his movement. And that's Siddhant.
Right.
And then I'm guaranteeing you will see progress in your life very quickly. I'm able to guarantee because Prabhupada guaranteed it. he said, you'll read my books, you go back to Godhead. So that's good enough for me. Like, I would take that. Like, I would be more than happy to go back to Godhead rather than knowing everything in this world. Okay, so we stop here today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hello, Pranam
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Babuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Amadi.
Hare Krishna, Pranam.